You know what bugs me out about what bugs me out about people that are always like, oh, gay people should die and all this other stuff. What bugs me out about these people who claim to be heterosexual but are so offended by so much so that they are consumed with it. I always have a different look at those kind of people because I always believe that that extra exuberant type of, it's something to hide something. You know what I'm saying? So check this out. And this isn't the first one. So let me get you up to speed to the story. It stems from the Orlando nightclub shooting. Now, I don't know if you remember Pulse nightclub. So on June 12th of 2016, Omar Mateen, a 29-year-old security guard, killed 49 people and wounded 53 others in a mass shooting inside a nightclub, a gay nightclub in Orlando, Florida. The Orlando Police Department officers shot and killed him after a 3-hour standoff. He went into the club and he fired off a whole bunch of rounds, killing a whole bunch of people. And he basically said that it was some anti-gay stuff and he did not like gay people, but this was also something that had to do. The incident was deemed a terrorist attack by FBI investigators. He later told a negotiator in the 3-hour standoff that out here right now because of the he's out here right now because of the American-led invasions in Iraq and in Syria, and that the negotiators should tell the United States to stop the bombing. That is what he said, right? On top of him not liking gay people. Now, there was a pastor, a church pastor, who took it up on himself to get on TV and social media and celebrate this. So fast forward with me now to 2019 going to 2020, and the headline for this pastor says, pastor who celebrated the Orlando massacre gets 35 years in prison for child molestation. Anti-gay pastor who claimed Orlando massacre victims got what they deserved will probably spend the rest of his life in prison. Pastor Ken Atkins was sentenced to life for aggravated child molestation earlier this week. Atkins will be eligible for parole after 35 years, but by the time he gets there, he will be over 90 years old already. And more than likely, he probably won't survive it, so he'll probably be dead. If he does manage to live long enough to be released, he will spend the remainder of his life on probation. Atkins, who had congregations in Atlanta, Jacksonville, Brunswick, Georgia, he had a different church in all these places. He was arrested late last summer on 8 charges of child molestation and aggravated child molestation. Earlier this month, the jury found Pastor Atkins guilty on all charges. So you're so worried about what consenting adults want to do with their own bodies and their own body parts and their own selves, but you're over there molesting children. Before his arrest, the controversial Georgia pastor had been a vocal and determined opponent of the LGBT rights. He even went as far as to celebrate the horrific mass shooting that left 49 people dead and scores more wounded at the gay nightclub in Florida, which is Pulse, which I just read to you about. Immediately after that horrific attack at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida, Pastor Atkins tweeted the following, and this is what he tweeted on social media. He said, been through so much with these Jacksonville homosexuals that I don't see none of them as victims. I see them as getting what they deserve. Been through so much with these Jacksonville homosexuals that I don't see none of them as victims. A man walks into a public space, opens fire, kills 49 people in one spot, and you don't see any of them as victims. They weren't provoking anybody. They weren't harming anybody. They were all having a good time. They were partying and enjoying life, right? Celebrating and enjoying life, as we all should do. And you saw none of them as victims. You thought that they got what they deserved. That was harsh. That was way harsh. I see them as getting what they deserve. Pastor Atkins also then tweeted, "Dear gays, go sit down somewhere. I know y'all want some special attention. Y'all are sinners who need Jesus. This was an attack on America. And it is a shame that Jacksonville's gays are trying to use the Orlando massacre as blackmail to force the city to pass the HRO. Shame, shame, shame." I don't know what the HRO is, but his words, it is a shame that they're trying to use, the Jacksonville gays are trying to use the Orlando massacre. How are they trying to use, if anybody should use the massacre, it should be them, because it was a gay nightclub that 49 of them died in one night. I remember there was one guy who reached out and he said, my cousin, who was in the army, by the way, was home on leave and he was celebrating at that nightclub. For my family to now see that he got killed at Pulse when he had not even come out to the family yet. Who am I to judge? And for his crime, the Florida Times Union reports, the court found that Atkins exploited children by acting as a father figure and giving them gifts, when in reality he was actually just grooming the preteen age couples for sex. The age of consent in Georgia is 16. The jury believes that the teens were below 16 when Atkins was watching them have sex to make sure they were doing it the right way, correctly, and then he eventually joined them in the acts to teach them how to do it properly, because he is an expert. Pastor Atkins' Twitter bio claims he is one of the most respected black conservative voices in America. So, you tell me. This is my message to anybody out there who thinks it's okay. It's not. It's not. Leave people alone. Let them live their lives. You let your life be for you and your God. And your relationship with you and your God should be just that. You and your God. That's all I got to say. And for those of you who like to go overboard with the opposition or the opposing comments, the derogatory comments for people who might be gay or are gay, I kind of look at you suspiciously. And the reason I do is because of stuff like this keeps popping up. They champion the cause, only to find out that it was all a facade to hide some other demonic stuff that they are really into. This is BrainFLoTv. Leave your comments in the comment section below, and we will talk about this some more. Also, if you would like for me to cover any other topic, then shoot me an email at brainflotv@gmail.com, or just leave it in the comment section below, because I do read all the comments, right? All right, I'm out. Peace.